It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
Welcome in to our Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. P-Man's taking his last Friday off before the college football season begins. So Philip Pilkington here, filling in for the P-Man. Dom Kasulki filling in my spot behind the glass. Programming notes for tonight. Well, first off, for today's show, we caught up yesterday. Obviously could not interview Coach Taylor live, but Coach Matt Taylor of the Washington Pan Pack will join us in segment 2. Obviously, they're about to go out for pregame warm-ups now. So, again, recorded that interview yesterday. And then Joey Football is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. So, first off, Dom, this is your first, I think, appearance on any of our shows since probably the end of baseball season. How's it going, Dom?
Yeah, it's great. We haven't been able to do a little tandem duo between Philip hosting and me producing. I produced for a week when you were gone during the summer and a few times filling in with Patrick, but that's about it. So it's been a while, mostly Talk of the Town with Mr. Henry Hinton. Yeah,
well, hey, that's where the big bucks are made. That's what keeps the lights on, is Talk of the Town. So you've been able to do that, which is good. Programming notes for tonight. So we still have Rose football on our airways here at Inner Banks Media, but they're going to be moved over to 102.7. They'll be taking on New Hanover tonight. Their stream, however, if you're outside our listening area and you want to stream it, when you have to go to the IBX Media app, you're going to have to go to 103.7's live feed. So we're going to have to move that over. 103.7 not being used for high school tonight as Edenton has a bye, kind of a crappy time to have a bye. Throwback to when the NFL had an odd number of teams, right? Byes week 1. Havelock will stay on 94.1. They will be taking on Wallace Rose Hill. And then Washington, Scooter will be the new play-by-play man of the Washington Pan Pack. They will be taking on Croatan. So, right here on 94.3. So those are our programming notes for tonight. Programming notes moving forward. Reminder, Inside Pirate Athletics will start on 94.3 this Monday with Mike Houston and the P-Man. I think Igo will be on that as well. Excuse me. And then Igo show on Monday will John Gilbert, the Pirate Athletic Director, will be on with him. Jim Zoki is set to join the P-Man on Monday afternoon as well. So I think Igo might pop in at the end of the show. And then reminder that the Logan Zone returns on Thursday. It will begin at 5 o'clock. 5 to 7, so new time on Thursday. He's hoping to get a little more fan interaction. Friday, people were on their way to high school football and all that. It was a little hard for people to call in on Friday evenings. So 5 to 7 now, 2-hour Logan Zone starting this Thursday. And he's going to go all the way through the Super Bowl this year. So a very extended Logan Zone. All righty. Well, high school football starts tonight. I have to say, I'm jealous of all those high school football players. I miss it. Obviously, big rivalry games and playoffs always had a little extra juice flowing, but I would say the opening game was probably behind those as far as how exciting it was to get out there. So best of luck to all the high school football teams tonight. Everybody hope to stay safe from injury and have a great season. So Dom, do you miss it? I know you didn't play, but
I was not a big player.
No, did you go to the games when you were in high school?
Of course, I went to the games. I mean, it's a high school thing to do, is go to the games, go with your buddies. A lot of my buddies didn't play football either. I had a few really close friends that played, but never went to like a big college for it or anything like that. But it was great times. I do miss going to the games sometimes, but of course there's ECU football, so there's not too much thinking about that.
Hey, ECU football. This time next week, we will be we will not, 6 o'clock kickoffs. We will not be within 24 hours of kickoff, but we will be within 24 hours of our Anson Belt and Buckle Pirate Game Day countdown this year. Patrick Johnson, Joey Football is going to be the analyst. T-Cop has some other obligations, and then I will be on it, and Dom will be helping out as well. So be ready for a Joey Football weather update, which we all know is not quite Jim Cantori.
It's Joey
But
Weather.
It's Joey Weather.
It's not Joey Football Weather Update. It's just Joey Weather in general.
Joey Weather. There's nothing better than a Joey Weather update on a Pirate game day. It is very entertaining.
It's windy and cold.
It's it's windy, cold. The ball's going to be wet. Oh, my goodness. It might slip out of their hands. That was a bad Joey Football voice because he doesn't have a Southern accent. I think he did he for that? He did do a funny accent for that, didn't he?
I think for the first one, he went all out and did some kind of accent for it. I think he maybe changed it every week. He did something different with it every week to keep it going. He did a good job with that.
Okay. Joe's good at that. Well, the nice thing with Joe is he lives in the South, so he knows what a legit Southern accent's like. But his family is from the island, so he's got the New York, Long Island accent kind of in his genes, but then he can do the more city accent if he's got to do a Manhattan or a Brooklyn accent. So Joey Football, at least when it comes to the East Coast, is pretty good, pretty on point with his accents. So Joey Weather will be making his triumphant return to the Anson Belton Buckle Pirate Game Day Countdown. But speaking of college football, we're going to talk about this a little bit with Joe. Week 0 is here. There is college football being played 19 hours from now. I have to say, I'm pumped. Dom, are you excited for week 0, or am I just a nerd?
I'm pumped for football because who can get enough about football? But the games aren't the most exciting to me. You were, just talking about it with me in Florida State being only a 10.5-point spread with Georgia Tech, as Florida State's the 5 seed, as the preseason rankings, those change a million times during the season. But I did think that, that spread might have been a little different, so maybe that could be an exciting game. A couple of teams that sometimes are good. Florida State, a while back, my childhood, they were fun to watch.
They were. You said a couple teams that have been good. I think Georgia Tech, the last time they were good, John Heisman was the head coach, and they were beating Cumberland College 200 and whatever to nothing. Now they've probably been good since then. I think they were decent in the early 2000s, but you're right. Florida State definitely with some more recent history there. Your Vikings, Dom. This is your first time being on air since the J.J. McCarthy news broke, and you have mono man Sam Darnold as your starting quarterback. What are your thoughts playing in that tough division without J.J. McCarthy?
I think J.J. McCarthy wasn't going to be the starter initially, but I do think at some point he would have came in if Sam Darnold was to play bad, which he has, of course, done that a few times in his career, not played the best of football, but I think he has a lot of weapons around him. Addison's ankle injury isn't the biggest deal in the world. He should be back for week 1. Hawkinson will come back at some point off the IR from his ACL injury. So I think he has a lot of weapons. He has a great offensive line. Tackle duo, not the entire line. But I think we can go out and win some games. I don't have any Super Bowl hopes. I think we'll be mediocre. I'm hoping for 9 wins. That's like a ceiling. 9 to 10 wins is a ceiling. A floor could be like 4. That's my thought process.
Well, it stinks to lose, but if you weren't going to make the playoffs anyways, it stinks that he won't get those in-game reps, the last 6-8 weeks of the season, whenever they're probably going to put him in to start. But take a lot of mental reps, learn a lot of things on the sideline. Hey, maybe you lose a couple more games and, 6 or 8 draft pick spots up because of the injury. So, I don't know. Glass is half full, I guess.
Yeah, who knows? I really think they can prove some people wrong with that Brian Flores defense. Just signed Stephon Gilmore on defense, have a lot of good outside linebackers, got Dallas Turner at 17, which was a steal. He should have went in the top 10. I really think the defense could make the games a lot closer and give Sam Darnold some cushion to some timely interceptions.
It was interesting. The last year he started in New York, they were like 500 when he played. Like, he didn't play every game, but, he's not terrible.
No, he's really not. And he go 3-1 with McCaffrey when he was the starter with the Panthers?
Yeah.
I think he was 3-1 with McCaffrey after
and
that.
And Matt Rule was his head coach.
Yeah, Matt Rule was the head coach. It was all downhill after that. But he has shown that he can go out and win some games. And I have some Panthers fans that are friends from back home. And they loved him for a few weeks. And they said, the first few weeks of the season, he looks like he's going to be your franchise QB. So I'm hoping to see that in the first few weeks.
I don't know if he looked like that. I think he's the guy that gets you stuck in purgatory. He's not going to make you bad enough to be bad or good enough to be good. But what you hope if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan is you do have your starter of the future that will take you out of that purgatory. But, hey, it's 10 after the hour, so we're going to take a break here on the Patrick Johnson Show so we can get you that interview with Matt Taylor. Actually, no, I take that back. We're supposed to play something from Croft. I was supposed to play this earlier when we were previewing the high school football game, so I'm sorry. Get to this real quick. But voice of the Rose Rampants, Croft Massey, gave us a little preview. He was kind enough to send this in. We weren't able to get one from Scooter. He was a little too busy, and I think that Patrick meant to put Trevor on the text, and Trevor didn't make it on the text, and then obviously Tommy's off tonight. So hit it now, Dom, if you would, with Croft Massey's preview of tonight's Rampants game.
I'm Croft Massey for Oldies 102.7, and tonight the J.H. Rose Rampants hit the road to face the New Hanover Wildcats to open the 2024 season. In his 5th season at the helm, head coach Will Bland will turn to transfer quarterback Jimmy Martin to lead the Rampant offense. As a sophomore last year, Martin threw for over 1,600 yards and 19 touchdowns. Tune in at 7 p.m. on Oldies 102.7 for Rose versus New Hanover.
Thank you for that, Croft. So we're going to take our first time out here on the Patrick Johnson Show. We'll be back to preview the Washington Pampact and Croatan game with Coach Matt Taylor on the other side of this timeout.
We're down to the final days of our summer sales event at Greenville Toyota.
Lease new RAV4s, $319 a month. Test drive the redesigned 2025 Camry, all with our advantage.
It's your last chance to save at Greenville Toyota.
Pirate game days, there's nothing like them. The atmosphere, the tradition, the matchups, the magical finishes. Be a part of Pirate Game Days. Season tickets are as low as $115. Reserve your seat today to be a part of the experience of Pirate Game Days at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium this fall.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Hurry, the summer savings event is coming to an end. Don't miss your chance.
Enjoy your summer in a new Corolla for just $219 a month or a Highlander for only $399 a month. Got a trade? Get cash for it or trade for a new Toyota.
Hurry into Greenville Toyota today.
You ready for this?
Oh, I'm very ready.
Okay,
ready?
You ready?
Streaming to the world at 943thegame.com. This is the Patrick Johnson Show. Now in all his glory, here's the P-Man.
I'm Croft Massey for Oldies 102.
Welcome back into our Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. We are less than 2 hours away from Washington and Croatan opening the season right here on 94.3 The Game. Scott Rogers will be on the call for that. And yesterday we were able to catch up with the head coach of the Washington Pan Pac, Matt Taylor. How's it going, Coach Taylor? You ready for your first game of the season tonight?
I'm going well. You know, it's been a long road to get to this point. It's been a long off season, and me and my coaches and my kids were so excited to go out there and get the win.
You guys are taking on Croatan, who you played last year. That was your first ever game as a head coach. You unfortunately fell in that one 21-6. But, hey, you get to open the season at home this year, so first time ever as a head coach opening at home. What are your thoughts kind of leading into tonight's contest just overall and seeing a team that you saw just 12 months ago?
You know, last year's game being my first game as a head coach, I had a lot of learning experiences through that. And, you know, I'm excited to see where our program has gone in, 365 days in a full year and see how all that comes to fruition. You know, as a first-year head coach, it was more difficult than I thought it was going to be as far as the kids understanding what my expectation is, as far as what the team expectation is. And, you know, I'm really excited to kind of open up at home, and we got some wonderful facilities, and we got a wonderful, community support, so they get to kind of come see us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm through the roof.
You know, you mentioned that their expectation of you, your expectation of them. Obviously, you're not new to coaching. You're new to being a head coach. Is that from kind of a cultural standpoint more so than an X's and O's standpoint, or a little bit of both?
It was a little bit of both, and Washington has never had a bad football culture. Coach Perry before me has done a wonderful job, and, he carried this program to the state finals and had a lot going on for him. So this community and this team knows what it's like to win and knows what that expectation is. It's just different when you get a new coach in there. I'm going to view things differently than somebody else, and I'm going to expect things and have higher prioritization of things. So having all that and the kids having a full year under that, because, football is a year-long sport, and we're constantly working at it. So these kids have now heard me and my coaching staff for a full year. So we're excited for that opportunity and excited. It's been great growth for all of us. So, and that's me included. So we're really ready to go.
Well, hopefully you guys can show that growth on the field. I'm sure you will tonight as well as the entire season. I want to go back to one thing, though, from last year. You were a Conley Viking. It's where you played in high school. Then you were a coordinator over there. What was it like your first time playing against your alma mater, or coaching against, your alma mater? It had to be a little weird and hoping that the Vikings lost, probably for the first time in your life.
Yeah, definitely for the first time in my life. And, I think it'll be weird this year because we play at their place. So I've never been on the opposing sideline. So it'll be weird seeing that press box from the other side of the field. And, it was a really cool and surreal experience. I'm still very close with that coaching staff over there and knowing all the kids and how they operate and stuff like that. And Conley does things the right way. They always have. And I was honored to be a part of that. And, but no, it was surreal in some ways. And, and it was a lot of fun, even though we didn't get the outcome we wanted. Our kids went out there and competed, and, it was fun watching their kids compete, and, we're just ready to get back at it again.
The one thing that will be familiar, I guess, when you head over there, I wish I remember their names off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, the chain crew at Conley has been doing it for like 20, 25 years, right? Isn't it a family, and the same ones have done it every home game forever?
It's a group of old parents that their kids used to play. I don't know if they've been doing it for that long. They've kind of had the same chain crew, and the funny thing is my dad was a part of that chain crew, and now he's over here with us. So I'm sure I'll know some of those guys, and I know the athletic director, I'll know the fans, I'll know kind of everything. I know the janitorial staff. So, every time you go over there, and anytime I go over there, it's always with warm hugs and big smiles. So it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
That will be I'm sure, a special moment for you. So we'll go on to your team this season, and let's start at the quarterback position. And you have Evan Makepeace going there. He's only a junior, so this is great. Hopefully, you get 2 years out of him as a starter. He was your JV starter a year ago, so he has experience under center, or I guess behind center. We should use in the term 2024. As a lot of stuff is out of the gun or the pistol, but you guys have kind of changed the offense this year. And how has he adapted to that? And how is he adapting to the speed of the varsity game?
No, and that's been his biggest challenge. You know, Evan's a wonderful kid. And look, Evan is a 5-sport athlete. I mean, he plays football in the fall, and then in the winter he wrestles and he does a little bit of swimming. And in the spring he runs track and plays baseball. So competition is something that he's never going to shy away from. And, you know, he's trained his body in such that, you know, he's able to go compete and be in big moments. And he's had a wonderful offseason. He's had a wonderful summer. And, you know, he's still growing as a leader and growing as a young adult. So, and he's going to take some lumps as we go through this year. I mean, I yelled at him today about something that I did that was silly. But he's doing a great job. He's handling it all. He's handling me. And he's, you know, as a quarterbacks too often get too much of the praise when we win and too much of the blame when we lost. So, you know, he's just another one of the 11 out there on the field at one time, but he's the leader in a lot of ways, and he's handling himself really good. We're excited to see his growth.
Now, the one great thing about this, with him being a younger kid to be thrown into that starting role, is you are returning some weapons on the offensive side of the ball, most notably Keandrick Melton, your running back, and I think you got another receiver also that's returning that's pretty quick, right? I'm sorry, I didn't make a note of his name, but an all-state track guy, right? So he should have some big-time weapons around him, right?
You know, we got to, you know, well, our offense starts through our running back position. We got some thunder and lightning back there. Keandrick Melton is the starter, and he is a very large human. He weighs every bit of 240 pounds and has some get up to him. And he's our vocal leader, and he's the kind of guy on offense that everybody gets behind. And he runs the ball really hard, and we're excited to see what he can kind of turn into. We just got to get him in shape so he can carry the load for us. And then behind him is one of our linebackers who's a junior. He was probably the best football player on our team last year, and that's Khalik Small. And he's a wonderful kid that, you know, starting linebacker and backup running back has embraced that really well. Out wide, you know, all 4 of our starting wide receivers this year are multi-sport athletes. 3 of them play basketball. 1 of them plays baseball. 2 of the other ones ran track, and, you know, 1 of them did all 3. So those guys are not scared of competition, and they're getting adjusted to how we do things, and they've had a really good season, a really good off season. So it's a bright spot in what we're doing and how much they're going to grow.
That's awesome, and it's always good to hear the multi-sport athletes. You know, I think there was for a while there was this stigma that you should only stick to one sport, but I think it makes them grow as young men, and it helps them athletically as well. And I love to hear that you've got 3, 4, and even 5-sport athletes on your roster. That's got to be pretty cool to see those kids excel, not just on the gridiron, but everywhere else as well.
No, it's a lot of fun. I go back to my high school wrestling coach, and he talked about using your brick. And, you know, he had on the back wall the bricks that were in the wrestling room, and every 4 years, you know, it was laid out 84 years, which was the life expectancy at that point. And then on one brick was the time that you were in high school. And that's the time that, you know, in a lot of ways, it's the best time of your life. And you get to go compete and do all those kind of things. And everybody always regrets when they don't do as much as they can. So I always encourage all of our football players to do as many things as they can, to go compete and find ways to be competitive. And it's just going to make them overall better humans. So our school does a good job buying into that. And the kids have done great. So it's also fun, you know, in the winter. I love going to a basketball game and seeing 3 or 4 of our football players out there. We got like 10 guys that go out there and wrestle. So I love going to wrestling matches and watching them go compete against other schools. So it is a lot of fun, and it's a very positive thing.
head coach of the Washington Pan Pac, Matt Taylor, and former D.H. Conley assistant, as well as Conley Viking himself, is joining us here on the Patrick Johnson Show on this Friday. So, Coach Taylor, we're going to head over to the other side of the football. I think you're returning 5-6 defense starters. About half the defense is returning and includes all 4 of your linebackers from a season ago. How's this defense coming together, and what are your expectations for them heading into this 2024 campaign?
Yeah, if we were in college and we referred to them as rooms, our linebacker room is by far our best room. There's a lot of depth there. There's a lot of experience, and there's a lot of very capable players. And, they're led by Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis is, the leader of our football team, not just our defense. And he's a guy that he's a coach's dream. He goes about everything the right way. He fundraises the best. He's the leader in the school. He makes straight A's, and he's that all-American type kid. And it's a really, really, really exciting group. And it's the first game, and you never know what you truly have until after the first game, and then you kind of evaluate and get better. But I'm really excited to see this group go and get after it. In the secondary, again, it's the same as our receivers. We got a lot of multi-sport athletes. We got 3 basketball players back there that got significant minutes on the varsity basketball team last year. They're kind of led by Nash Pippin, and he's a 3-sport athlete as well who goes out there and does everything you're supposed to do, and he's very vocal, and he's a team guy. So we're excited to see that group. And then our probably most our inexperienced group is probably our defensive line, as far as the amount of reps they have at the varsity level. But we got a good rotation of guys, and they're going to go in there and get after it. And Coach Couch does a great job with our D-line. So we're excited to see what they can do.
So, Coach Taylor, you end the season last year on a big road victory at Ayden-Grifton. You're returning about half your starters overall. I think you're returning 11 of the 22 heading into this year. I know that was all the way back on October the 27th that you played that football game, but is there any momentum you can take over from a 20-point victory in the final game of the season and use it to try and knock off Croatan tonight in front of your home crowd?
No, I thought it was huge for our off season. You never want to go 3-7, but if you do, let's win the last game of the year to kind of give our younger kids, some motivation. And because that game was a lot of fun, and we have a lot of respect for Ayden-Grifton, and Coach Cornwell does a fantastic job. And it was really a proud moment for that group of seniors to end on a high note. And really, and I said this at the end of last year, that this is going to propel us into the off season. And it did. We had every single one of our kids in our program played a spring sport, and we coached track. So if they weren't playing baseball, they were out there running track and, do skill and development and stuff like that with us. And we really did have a great summer, everything that we expected. And that all started with that win. And it was a lot of fun, and, we're just ready to get back at it.
All righty, Coach. Well, we thank you for joining us here, and best of luck tonight.
I really appreciate it. Let me go Pan Pac.
All righty, there he goes. That was Coach Matt Taylor of the Washington Pan Pac. We'll be back with more of the Patrick Johnson Show right after this.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Summer is here, and Sawyer's Fun Park is having a toddler summer special. From 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday, Sawyer's has a $10 2-hour unlimited pass for ages 2 to 4. That's one toddler and one parent for just $10 every weekday morning. Sawyer's Fun Park summer hours are Monday through Thursday from 10 to 8, Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 9, and Sundays from 12 to 8. Book your tickets online at SawyersFunPark.com and beat the heat this summer at Sawyer's Fun Park.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human.
about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Sometimes you just don't know if you want to kiss him or slap him.
Ow!
Either way, he'd probably like it. The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the Patrick Johnson Show. If you're just joining us, we were just joined by the head coach of the Washington Pan Pac, Matt Taylor. Their game will be right here on 94.3 The Game tonight against Croatan. Second year at the helm for Coach Taylor. He is a former Conley grad as well as a Conley assistant. So now we're going to change gears from high school to college. We're going to bring in the former letterman of the East Carolina Pirates, Joe Samson. Joey Football, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, good to see you. I mean, you look great. I got to say, I'm loving the goatee look. I'm loving the purple on that background, the palate cleanser with the monster. I'm loving it.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's once the Bruins lose in the playoffs, I got to go to the goatee. It's just too hot to have the full beard. I'll get it back around Thanksgiving. All righty. Well, we're going to jump into this right away. Earlier this week, last Saturday, Jake Garcia was named the starter of the East Carolina Pirates over Caton Hauser. I have to say, I was a little shocked. I think me and a lot of the people thought it was going to be Caton. What are your initial thoughts, and why do you think they ended up going with Jake?
Yeah, so everything I've heard, I mean, all I've heard is how good of a battle it was between Hauser and Garcia. They both handled the offense really well, especially considering how new it's been. I mean, that's just going to be the new thing with John David Baker. You're going to have to try and understand these things and get your footing. So they went to the senior. They went to the guy that's got experience, SEC ball, ACC ball, and knows exactly what it's going to take to be that college quarterback. But Hauser's no slouch. I'm not going to dispute that by any means. Played against the number one team, former national champions. Michigan last year, handled Ohio State, handled a lot of Big Ten games on the road. So there's a lot of pedigree there as well. But I think as it came down to it, as somebody who's understood multiple systems, has been that kind of guy, knows where the ball's supposed to be. I see Garcia more as a conductor than a big ball guy. He's going to know where the defense needs to be out leveraged. He's going to know who needs to get the ball at this time. He's going to kind of be like a symphony in an orchestra as opposed to kind of guns blazing, run and gun like Hauser is.
All right. You hate to have a guy looking over his shoulder. But because the battle was so tight, in a way, do you have to have a slightly short leash just solely because, I mean, like we kind of said, there's not really a fall off. And if a guy struggles, you don't want to struggle all season. But then also, if he knows it's a short leash, he's more likely to struggle. Where's that balance if you're Mike Houston and John David Baker?
I think it comes down to John David Baker. You need to have that relationship with the mailmen, as he refers to them, because they always deliver. You need to have that conversation. Hey, this is your job, Jake. Like, don't think Caton's looking over your shoulder, but Caton, I want you to push him. I want you to make him better. I want you to find that happy medium. But that comes through communication and conversation and a lot of trust. When you get into that first tough season, and all of a sudden it's App State and you're down 7, or you just threw an interception, you can't immediately pull the guy and destroy his confidence, because at the end of the day, it's no longer amateur sports. It's a business. There's money riding on this for a lot of different people now. So having those conversations, treating them like pros, and being open in that way, I think is exactly how Houston and John David Baker are going to handle it this season, by understanding and letting them both grow and fail so that they can become better players.
All righty, Joey, we appreciate your analysis. We're going to talk more Pirates with you on the Patrick Johnson Show on Tuesday, but the Pirates do not have a game this week. However, some other teams do, so we're going to bring Dom back in for this one. Are you guys excited for Week 0? Are you more excited for preseason football? Is the Week 0 slate too boring, and you're like, I'm just going to enjoy my last week, 2 weekend days of not having to be glued to my screen until the end of the College World Series? What are you guys feeling with this? We'll start with Joe.
I'm an addict. I mean, anytime there's football on, I'm watching it. The other night I was watching Bears-Chiefs in the preseason because I was like, okay, like, it's football. Like, let's go from there. And the quarterback from Kansas was leading the Chiefs. If that just kind of gives you an idea for who the hell was actually under center for Andy Reid. So I just love football. I love watching it. I'm really excited for meaningful football. I love that Georgia Tech-Florida State matchup. Georgia Tech is 7-1 against Florida State in their last 8 matchups against the spread. So I really like that, especially from a gambling perspective, now that we can talk about it. I really like Georgia Tech to cover also.
Oh, you like them covering 10?
Mm-hmm. I do.
See, I'm torn, and Dom, feel free to kind of bounce in any time here. It's going to be total roundtable from now on, except for one question I have for Joey at the end that is totally not football related.
All right.
You know, the weird thing is I thought the spread was going to be a little more, and then it was going to be like ride the Yellow Jackets. Mm-hmm. And I do think Florida State's a little overhyped. I think 5 is a little too much, but or preseason number 5. Are they preseason number 5? It's weird. Dom said 5. I saw him earlier at 5, and now like ESPN is saying 10, which is not right.
I don't know. Yahoo Sports says 5.
Yeah, that's what I
know exactly who's right. Well, hey, that app, the app of Yahoo Sports is very nice. It's very collectively easy to figure out where the teams are. I like using it.
Yeah, it is.
User-friendly interface.
Very
I get
much.
it. I get it.
So, but still, I don't know, man. Like, I think personally, if I had to bet, not that we're giving betting advice on this show.
Would never.
Can't do that.
I think that Florida State, like, backdoor covers. Like, it's close. They're, like, up, they're up 27-17, and then they score a touchdown late and kind of put them away. I don't know. I mean, am I looking too into this? It's like it's Week 0, and we always get hyped up, and then the games always stink. Right? And like the game in Dublin last year was horrible. This game's in Dublin. We're going to see how the travel affects these teams. I don't know. It's like we always get hyped up, and then like every game, it's like, wow, by the third quarter, it's like, man, do I watch the Little League World Series now instead of football? I don't know what I'm doing.
It's one of those things. I mean, Florida State is not a traditional offensive powerhouse under Mike Norvell by any means. He's a defensive coach. That's his MO. But DJ Ugalegi, now coming over from Oregon State, formerly at Clemson, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of handle that as well. I mean, there's a lot of dynamic pieces on that Florida State offense. You've got a running back who looks like he's 45 years old, and he's actually 19. But also, Georgia Tech's no slouch either. It's a former Saban guy at the helm looking to take that next step with the program. So I think double digits is too much of any kind of cover in Week 0, especially considering how closely these teams could be matched up. So I hear what you're saying, but I also think it's actually going to be a pretty good game in Dublin.
Gosh, I hope it is. The good thing for me is if it's not, Bryce Young is finally getting in the game. I'm so happy. Preseason. Look, if Patty has been playing, not that Patty really needs to play, but if Patty played the first 2 preseason games, why the heck haven't the Panthers played their starters?
I don't understand it. I mean, he's a second-year
Aaron
player.
Rodgers doesn't understand.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is like old and
38
fragile
or whatever.
He hasn't took game action since the 4th snap against the Bills on 9/11 last year.
That's
Put
true.
him under center, let him run a handoff. Do something.
So you want him in on – when do you guys – I don't know when you guys play. When do y'all play?
Play the Giants on Saturday at like 4, I think, or something like that.
Important question, Joe.
Absolutely.
I know it's a little bit off topic, but do you take Breece Hall at the 104? Is that a good pick?
I'm so glad you asked that question, Dom, because I was going to phrase it to you guys. I have the 3rd pick in my draft.
That's seeding.
Am I a homer for wanting to take Breece Hall? every single year, I don't have that big running back piece I need. Last year, I took Nick Chubb in the first round. His knee turned into a chicken bone. I took Breece Hall late because he was coming off the ACL, and he had a huge season. But, like, I'm sitting at 103. I'm scared with the CeeDee Lamb contract issues. Tyreek Hill doesn't stay healthy, and I'm worried McCaffrey's going to move from this workhorse into this save him for the playoffs kind of guy. So I really don't know where to sit. So I like Breece Hall at 3 because I know he's going to get carries. But at 104, I think he's got great value also.
Yeah, I'm either going with CD or Breece Hall there. I just, with the Jets fan, I wanted to relay the question.
That's fair. I wouldn't take Hill, and that's nothing against the offense. He'll have a hamstring tweak or an ankle tweak and be out for 2 weeks, and you need the points.
The hard part about this, the hard part about all these questions you guys are asking is football. There are now more guys that touch the ball than ever before, but it's still only a 60-minute game. Like, I used to be good at fantasy football. I used to go running back, first 2 rounds, no matter what, and it worked. It has not worked for me of late. I feel like you need a star running back, but the problem is there's only a few now, and you would think, like, now that there's less, you need more, but, like, you almost just need one, and then you need a true number 1 receiver. I think I need to go running back receiver in some combo. So, I don't know, but it's tough. I'm kind of glad, like, one of my leagues is a dynasty, the other one I have, like, into the first round pick. So I think it's truly, like, best available. And then, like, turn around. And, like, 'cause I'm like the 11 out of 12 or something. So, kind of works out. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I don't. That 3, 4, 5 is tough.
It is very tough. My draft's at 7:30 tonight, so I really needed the input.
Oh, boy.
It's big time. It's crunch time right now.
I mean, anybody within the top 5, you're going to be fine as far as value goes. You're in a pretty good spot. Like, if you were at 8, having to, like, reach, it'd be one thing. But, like, I feel like 4 or 5 is usually a good spot, especially because if you have one, 50-50 chance it's going to just explode in front of you.
True.
Wait,
like,
why?
He's going to be out.
Why are you drafting on a Friday night?
What's wrong with that?
That's a great question.
What's wrong with that?
It's like a social night. Like, this is wasting a night of your life. Like, draft on Sunday night?
Well,
or, like...
Are you going to be with the guys?
We're all going to be together. We're all drafting together.
Okay.
And we're going to be not drinking any alcoholic beverages.
Why?
He's just going to FaceTime CeeDee Lamb again, like that guy on Twitter. Couple Busch lattes.
It sounds like a great night to me. I don't know why you guys are judging.
I don't know.
I got it if it was the camaraderie standpoint.
Yeah,
I think Philip was like, are you on a computer, like just pressing numbers?
No, a couple of friends are coming down.
Yeah,
everyone's going to be here.
That's fair enough. I'd rather do that on like a Tuesday night if I'm just going to sit on a computer.
That's what my draft is.
Yeah, one of mine's Tuesday. My Dynasty's Tuesday. Another one's Wednesday. I do not need to work console in the comments. Dom, you want to work console in the comments so I can go to my fantasy draft?
Sure.
You get the new intern.
Oh, the new intern, Nick Football, who has not made his on-air debut. So the crappy thing is the first day we got him in, like, I go never pre-tapes anything.
Never.
But Schwartz, like, because, like, Schwartz's schedule was so whack this week, we had to get him in. We got him in, and we, like, pre-taped it, like, Monday afternoon. And then, like, the first 40 minutes of the show were pre-taped the day Nick was here. Mm-hmm. And then the last, like, 5 minutes, it's like, well, we don't really have time. Sorry, bud.
You'll get him on.
Yeah.
You'll get him on.
We'll haze him a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. We're a non-hazing organization.
Okay. That was said.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's move on. There's one other game I want to talk about, really. Bronco Mendenhall. First game at the helm of the Lobos, New Mexico. 4 p.m. Hosting the Bobcats of Montana State, who lost 4 games last year. Now, those 4 losses were legit. It was like, I think it was South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Montana, and Idaho, I think. Don't quote me that, but they lost legit. They're always a title contender, backdoor title contender.
Right.
But the Bobcats, 2 touchdown favorites at New Mexico. Is this crazy? Bronco usually does stink in his first year. Like, no matter what, like, the team seems to always get, like, worse in his first year, and then the second year it just, like, turns around. But that's nuts to me. What do you guys think?
It'll be interesting to see, especially now with NIL. You don't get that year anymore to, like, say, okay, it's not his guys. Like, he doesn't have any of his pieces. Because he went into the portal and he got probably 4 or 5 key players from larger groups as far as conferences go. I think he had a Big 10 transfer, might have had a Big 12 transfer on the defensive side of the ball. 2 former Pirates as well on that roster, and Richard Pierce and Max Lunch, a.k.a. Das tight end, the German. So it'll be really interesting to see. I think 2 touchdowns is not out of the ordinary, though. Montana State's a very good football team, has been a great football team in the FCS playoffs. We saw them give a really, really difficult run against the eventual national champions in South Dakota State. And that's just kind of where it's going to sit for a little bit, because now they're trying to move up and prove that they're a legitimate program.
You got anything, Dom? Are you intrigued by Montana State and New Mexico? Scooter is texting me, call me Scooter. I'm on air. Leave me alone.
I'm having some conversations with Scooter as well, but no, I'm not incredibly intrigued. Any of these games, I'm just not the biggest. I'm more of an NFL guy. I love college football too, but unless it's like a big-time game for college football or, of course, ECU, I'm not going to be as pumped up as maybe Joe or you, of course, Philip. But it's a game like this is not my favorite, but I like hearing you guys talk about it.
So does that mean you're more intrigued by the Panthers playing their starters tomorrow against the Bills?
I'm more intrigued about the Red Sox playoff run. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I got to ask. I mean, we got to mourn. Dom, are you okay? The Vikings are having possibly the worst preseason known to man.
Yeah, Philip was asking me about that at the beginning of the show. Yeah, it's been a bit depressing, but I
gotta light a candle for you.
Thank you. I kind of need it. With J.J. McCarthy going down, Addison's ankle, Hawkinson's
come
not going to
on,
be
you
back.
get Sam Darnold.
Yeah, my facial expressions show how I'm feeling. So,
hey, you haven't lived until your starting quarterback's out with mononucleosis on a Monday Night Football game.
You and Philip are too similar.
Yeah, it'll flare up by the end of the year. He'll figure it out. I don't have to worry about that. My team doesn't have a primetime game. Only team in like 10 years in the NFL who does not have a primetime game. But
so you guys didn't get the Thursday night game? I thought you were going to Thursday night game.
We have a Germany 9:30, and they're like, we're giving you a primetime game, but like
that's what it
doesn't technically count. All right, FAMU, Florida A&M against Norfolk State. Are you guys at 7 o'clock on Saturday going to be scouting the Pirates' opponent? I think I will be watching the NASCAR race. I might keep up with it, but I do not think I'm going to be watching FAMU.
I'll leave that to Mike Houston.
Yeah. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I'll be tuning in, but that's because I got to cover it on the Pirate Game Day Countdown.
Sure.
We've got to get this going. We've got to get this electric 2 hours of radio going, and I have to be prepared because that's what you do as an analyst. I can't just walk in anymore and saunter in and make stuff up. They're going to fact check me now.
Funny thing, because we do open with Norfolk State, Mike Houston has won a season opening game in Dowdy Ficklen more recently than the Pirates have. Yep. Not a good stat. Not a good stat.
No, but to be completely fair, I mean, look at some of the season openers we've had.
At Michigan.
Minus the Dafford Dagger.
Well, two of those were losing to A&T, and one of them was losing to JMU and Mike Houston. 2 FCS losses.
Right, and then one of them is UCF in COVID. And UCF, if I remember correctly, was nationally ranked.
They were.
We went to Charlotte and played App State.
Yeah.
On a Thursday in a home game for them. And then NC State. And
South Carolina.
We don't talk about last year. Yeah. Oh, God, you hurt me.
Sorry.
It's okay. Sorry. It's okay. Still won a bowl game.
The one thing I wanted to ask you about, Joe, this is a strict Joe question, because I brought up NASCAR for tomorrow night. That's what I'll be watching. Dutch Grand Prix Sunday. Max Verstappen, he's going to win his home race, right? Like he's still in the points lead, but he's lost way more races this year than anyone predicted. He's already hit the over. Home race, 9 a.m. Sunday. ESPN worldwide leader, Max Verstappen. What's going on?
I don't like Max Verstappen. It's going to hurt to say it. I really don't. I think it's going to be an Oscar Piastri type thing. McLaren's been incredible around those short tracks this year. They've got a great front end as far as racing goes where they can keep those speeds in between the corner. I mean, Zandvoort is a pitch track, first and foremost, one of the most difficult on the calendar, if not the most difficult, behind probably Singapore. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I don't think it's just Max's, though. I don't think Red Bull has developed the way they needed to this year.
Oof. Do they win the what's it called? It's not the manufacturers championship.
The constructors.
The constructors.
I think they still win the constructors.
Okay.
Minus that Checo Perez is basically driving with a cinder block on his tires. But yeah, I think it's still theirs to win. As long as Max still gets top 3 or top 5 finishes, they should be fine.
All righty. There you go. There's your F1 Friday breakdown of the Patrick Johnson show. Had to let him do it. Joe always let me break down NASCAR on IGO show. So got to let Joe get his analysis in. All righty. Well, Joe, we got about a minute and a half left. Anything else you want to leave us with before, or Dom, you guys got anything before we take our final break and then come back and wrap it?
Happy to be back. Just got to plug that. Happy to be back.
Yeah,
with
happy
IBX.
We're happy to have you back.
Producing the Pirate Game Day countdown with you on it. I'm excited.
Are you wearing an ECU jersey, Joe, or is that what jersey is that?
What, behind me?
No, that you're wearing the Adidas.
No, it's just
oh, okay. Honestly, low key, where the Adidas was like, I was like, is he wearing a Notre Dame blue jersey? Like, it was so dark. I was like, is he wearing a Notre Dame jersey right now? Like, what is he doing?
No, I don't. I had a Notre Dame jersey forever when I was a kid because, growing up a Catholic Italian kid up in the North, you had to root for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So I had Jeff Samaje. My brother had Brady Quinn. So, no, that has not seen the light of day since its retirement after the 2008 Sugar Bowl against LSU.
Hey, speaking of retirements, we can go a couple seconds. Colt McCoy, heck of NFL career.
Yeah.
Happy for him. I mean, I think he's going to do great on the Big Ten Big Noon kickoff or whatever it is that they put him on.
Absolutely. Him and Brady Quinn going back and forth, too. I mean, unbelievable college quarterbacks. Were Heisman Trophy finalists, if I remember correctly.
They both. I think Quinn was. Colt was twice.
Colt definitely was. It's just if Quinn was. And Colt was a national champion in college. So, the pedigree alone on that countdown. And you add Reggie Bush.
Yeah. A lot of Heisman. A lot of Heisman finalists. One Heisman Trophy. He got it back. So.
Yeah, he did. As he should.
Alrighty, boys. Well, thanks, Joey Football. We're going to get this final break, and then we're going to come and do some programming notes. So appreciate you hopping on with us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, we're going to take our final time out here on the Patrick Johnson Show. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place, and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, take your shoes, take your shoes. Yeah, good job.
Woo!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
And now, the stunning conclusion of the show. It's the P-Man here on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into our Friday edition of the Patrick Johnson Show as we get set to wrap it up here on this Friday. The P-Man will be back next Friday, so back to kind of normal scheduling for the season next week. Just a reminder for all of our stations, Inside Pirate Athletics will begin at 6 o'clock on Monday on 94.3 The Game. Logan Zone also 94.3 The Game on Thursday, 5 to 7. IGO will be having John Gilbert on Monday, so tune into that. And tonight, Washington and Croatan, 94.3 The Game. Havelock and Wallace Rose Hill will be on 94.1. Rose and New Hanover will be on 102.7, but will stream over 103.7 since 94.1 and 102.7 are the same channel. There was no way to stream one and the other. So if you're outside the listing area, you need to stream it on the app, on the IBX Media app, or online. Go to the Talk 103.7. If normally you stream whatever's on Talk 103.7 on Friday nights at 7 o'clock, sorry, I don't want to tell you. I have to guess it's just national news. But so anyways, that is our programming notes. Yeah, that pretty much does it. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. It's been a fun week. It's been a busy week here, but we're ready. We are 7 days and some change out from Pirate football. And, yeah, so if you missed the show, of course, it will be archived on our app as well as on the website. You can hear that interview we had with Matt Taylor, hear our goofing off with Joey Football, including his good F1 analysis, and all Dom's sadness for his Minnesota Vikings, who are having a very rough preseason. So
that's just for a better regular season. That's just
there you go.
Tuning in for a great regular season, actually.
Hey, man, you feel like the Cowboys. They never win preseason games, and they're good in the regular season. But then the playoffs hit, so there's that. Hey.
We'll be good in the regular season and the playoffs. Just
You're
wait.
Not gonna make the playoffs.
Just wait. We're making a surprise attempt at the playoffs, and then everyone's gonna be, all bananas about it. Like, how did this happen? Sam Darnold's an elite QB now. He's gonna get paid a big contract when he leaves because J.J. McCarthy's gonna be the future. This is all me coping, by the way.
Yeah. Who will sign him? It'd be like if he goes off, he'll go to like New Orleans or something, and then be dog water.
I mean, he's probably just as good as Derek Carr. He sucks.
I heard that you guys were trying to buy Derek Carr off of him. Was that true?
I have no idea, to be honest. I just remember Ben saying that Derek Carr was a top 10 QB, and I will never let him down for that take.
Yeah, Ben. We love Ben. Ben's usually not a hot take guy, but when he has him, he's got him. That's for sure. All right, we got to wrap it up as we're inside 15 seconds left, so appreciate you, Dom. And appreciate Joe, appreciate Matt, Taylor. Have a good weekend, everybody. Go Pirates.